and welcome back to Walk with Simran. This video is very special to me, so do watch till the end and you will see exactly what I mean.
Wi-Fi for purchase will be available about 10,000 feet. Connect to the deltawifi.com network to get started.
Come with me on my first ever visit to my in-laws' place and to the city my husband grew up in, Memphis, the home of blues. I'm definitely very excited. This city feels incredibly special. It's not just another trip. We're flying via Detroit. Our flight is at 5:20 p.m. and we land there around 7ish with a 40-minute layover before heading to Memphis. We flew via Delta. I took the window seat under the excuse of shooting footage, even though I'm not really a fan of flights. Honestly, I don't understand why some people love flying so much. I dread it, especially when there's a connecting flight involved. Don't get me wrong, I love to travel. I kept refreshing the Delta app like every 2 minutes just to make sure the gate didn't suddenly change or the flight didn't get delayed. You know that feeling when you're pretending to be chill, but internally you're running through all the worst case scenarios? That was me. I even triple checked our boarding passes and made Swami confirm the gate number again. Just for fun. While we waited, we were pleasantly entertained by live music and treated ourselves to fries and a milkshake from Chick fil A. Chick fil A is a popular fast food chain in the US, especially known for its chicken sandwiches and waffle fries. I said I didn't want anything, but once the food was in front of me, let's just say I participated equally. And we are here, Memphis. The Memphis Grizzlies are a big deal here, and the airport gave us a warm welcome with giant posters celebrating them. I heard the airport was recently renovated. It looks super shiny, clean, and very high tech. By the time we got out, it was close to 10 pm. We were picked up and headed straight home. Since it was my first time visiting after our wedding, there were a few traditional rituals, followed by meeting and greeting family, and then dinner, my first home cooked meal by my mother in law. So delicious. I don't know if it was the food or the feeling of being surrounded by family, but it just hit the spot. We spent some time chatting and then we went straight to bed. I honestly couldn't believe I was finally here. It was a mix of nervous excitement, comfort, and curiosity. A new chapter and a city full of stories I was just beginning to hear. Now we're on day 2. We wanted to keep this trip super light, so we didn't set any real agenda. The idea was to just spend some time with family and a few of his close friends. I had no plans of my own, just went along with theirs. We started with a lovely walk around the house and through the neighborhood. As I listened to all the stories about the people who lived there back then and still live there today, I couldn't help but feel the warmth of this beautiful, green, and luscious neighborhood. And then we got home for full meals. Next, we headed to his high school, Germantown High School. We walked around as he shared memories of his time there, old friends, teachers, and how the school system worked. As we walked through the school, I couldn't help but imagine what life must have been like for him back then. You know, the early mornings in high school, the group projects, those awkward teenage faces, and inside joke with friends. It was wild to think about how much time had passed and yet how clear those memories still were for him. It made me think about how places hold echoes of us even long after we've left. The hall may have new students now, new teachers, even new paint, but some energy lingers. And for a moment, it felt like I got to meet the 16-year-old version of him, the one I never knew. After that, we visited his undergrad college, Christian Brothers University. Funny enough, both of us had the same undergrad degree, though we went about it in completely different ways. It was surreal to connect lives that started so far apart. We then headed to a coffee shop where he used to hang out during college. I managed to record a short snippet of the drink making process. We got a salted caramel coffee for him and a matcha latte for me. There was something oddly comforting about being in his old hangout spot. I could almost picture him sitting here years ago, headphones in, backpack slouched down, the chair next to him, maybe working on a project, or just zoning out between classes. I caught myself smiling a few times, imagining that version of him and how life has changed since then. The vibe of the cafe was warm and nostalgic. It wasn't overly polished or trendy, just a perfect local spot with character and a little bit of history on its walls. The kind of place where people know your regular order. And then, in true coffee shop fashion, it went from completely quiet to suddenly buzzing. A group of students walked in laughing, someone had a Zoom call on speaker, uh, and a toddler started dancing to the music playing in the background. It was chaos, but the kind that makes you feel alive, like you're part of someone else's normal day. We sat there for a while just talking, sipping, and watching life happen around us. I even learned a new game to play, Connect 4. It was simple but very, very special. After that, we headed home and relaxed for a bit. The entire trip, it rained on and off, the weather was gloomy and totally unpredictable. That was a little off. We had plans to go to Beale Street, a historic street known for its iconic live music venues and vibrant nightlife. Until the very last minute, we weren't sure if we'd go because of the rain, but we made it, and it was still raining. We went to a spot with live music where you could submit song requests and they'd try to play them. It was so much fun. Later that night, it was pouring still. We returned home and rested. Now we're off to day 3. It was a Sunday. We spent the day with family, enjoying some amazing home cooked food. Later, we visited a dog park. It was so much fun. I was missing my dog, and it was so much fun watching the dogs run and play. I've always wished India had more spaces like this for dogs. It's something I've admired here. We tried to catch the sunset later in the evening, and how beautiful was that? Just the feeling of peace and soaking in the moment, it was beautiful. Day 4, Monday. It was my husband's brother's graduation, my first ever graduation experience, and it was very, very beautiful. So heartwarming to witness, especially knowing all the hard work he put in. After that, we headed to Gibson's Donuts, a beloved local donut shop. They gave me a warm first time experience and a free donut. They had so many varieties and it was delicious. We later went out for dinner to celebrate the graduation, and then the brothers played pickleball while I watched. The place had such a fun, energetic vibe. Now we want to pick up the game, paddles are already on the way. Haha. Now, day 5, we are leaving. There's so much to pack. We came with just a carry on, and now we're leaving with a huge 50-pound suitcase, and it still doesn't feel like enough. In the backyard, there were curry leaf and mint plants. I filled a ziploc with fresh leaves to take back. Yay! At the airport at 4:10, our flight is at 4:20 p.m. We got there super late and missed our flight. But luckily, we got tickets to fly out the next day, which secretly made me happy because I got an extra day. Yay. So we decided to visit the pyramid. I had heard of it before but didn't really know what to expect. Turns out it's a surreal structure, a Bass Pro shop inside a giant pyramid. So unexpected, and I absolutely loved it. The view was to die for. Probably the highlight of the trip, among other. That night we took it slow, spent more time with family, and soaked in the last bits of this lovely trip. The next day we made sure to get to the airport on time, couldn't risk missing the flight again since I had an interview lined up for the following day. Before we boarded the flight, we stopped at the gift shop so I could pick a little souvenir from Memphis, a cute fridge magnet. Our flight was scheduled for around 5 p.m., and although we got to the airport on time, it ended up being slightly delayed due to weather conditions and turbulence. We had a 40-minute layover and we barely made it to the connecting flight. I had to literally run while my husband was collecting the baggage. One of the ground staff even joked that I must still be a teenager, so running was easy for me, but the person I was with was old and still on their way. At one point, they almost told us we'd have to catch the next flight, which wasn't until the next day. I was nearly in tears. I had to get back, and it was just so stressful. But thankfully, we made it on board, landed around 11 p.m., and despite the heavy rain, arrived safe. This trip was truly very special, and I'm already looking forward to going back soon. That's it for now. What a whirlwind of a journey filled with love, food, family, and stories I'll always cherish. Until next time, Memphis. Thank you for watching. Do comment below and share some of your recent trips that were special to you. I'd love to hear about them. As always, keep walking with Simran.